Police are investigating after an Airdrie teenager is struck in a marked crosswalk.
She has no memory of really how it happened.
The driver yelled at her and then took off. Plus, as teachers strike, renewed debate over public dollars funding private schools.
The public system is starved right now for funding, but private education is not.
A new citizen petition is launched to force a referendum on the issue. And tough talk between premiers.
I think Premier B's comments are un-Canadian.
It's not the Danielle Smith show.
But is Ottawa buying into the push for a pipeline?
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. Airdrie RCMP are searching for a driver tonight after a teenager was struck in a marked crosswalk last week. The shocking incident was caught on video and we are going to show it to you for two reasons. One, that child miraculously suffered only minor injuries, and two, her mother wants everyone to see it to help her find the person that would do this and then simply just drive away. Tyler Barrow reports.
17-year-old Emma Mescal was on her way to write a math test on October 2nd when she was struck by a white Dodge Caravan and knocked off her feet. Even more shocking, as she pulled herself off the ground and limped away, the driver got out and yelled at her, then took off.
To just simply leave a child on the road and come out and yell and leave, it's beyond to my understanding.
Emma's mother, Luba Mescal, spoke with us but asked to not be shown. She wanted the public to see the video of her daughter, which was released by the RCMP.
She still cannot fully walk proper. Bend over is hard for her, and mentally is hard for her for sure.
The incident happened last Thursday around 8:30 a.m. in the Airdrie community of Windsong. The driver of the white Dodge Caravan has still not been caught. RCMP say he drove off heading eastbound. This Mom of 6 says more needs to be done at the intersection to slow vehicles down.
I actually want to walk them every time they have to go to school because there's just people zooming by all the time.
Fear shared in the neighborhood.
They're driving like crazy and there's so many kids around. We have a school.
The Mescals are calling for changes to the intersection.
Anything would help. Speed bumps, more police in here. A lot of cars rush through the street. They do not pay attention. They think that they are special and it's not going to happen to their kid.
Anyone with information about the suspect driving the white Dodge Caravan is asked to contact Airdrie RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Airdrie.
And RCMP are reminding drivers to be mindful when driving in school and playground zones, especially during the darker hours, and to never pass vehicles stopped at a crosswalk, as there may be pedestrians crossing that you just can't see. We have breaking news from the court center tonight. A judge has just handed down an 18-month sentence to a young man for his role in the death of Danilo Canelli's Glenn. The 18-year-old was stabbed to death at a Copperfield basketball court 2 years ago. Terry Fikowski joins us now. So, Terry, what is the reaction to this outcome?
Tara, it has been an emotional, intense day here with both the loved ones of the victim and the young offender packing the gallery for sentencing today. Danilo Canelli's Glenn's family and friends were disappointed that the man will not spend more time behind bars, but they were relieved that he wasn't released today, which was a possibility and came as a disappointment to the offender's family who were hoping he'd be coming home. 18-year-old Canelli's Glenn was playing basketball with friends in Copperfield when he was pepper sprayed and stabbed several times in September of 2023. The younger of two brothers charged was convicted of manslaughter, and while now 18, he cannot be identified because he was 16 at the time. He'll spend another year in prison, followed by 6 months of community supervision with credit for time already spent in custody. The Crown had asked for 2 years in prison, followed by a year probation with no credit for time served, while the defense argued he'd served his time over the last 24 months in custody and should be released under community supervision. In her decision, Justice Eleanor Funk called the killing reckless, unprovoked, and random, and factored in her decision that the victim was unarmed, that it happened in front of young children, and the harm caused to the community. That includes a childhood best friend who was with Canales Glen that night and performed CPR to try and save him.
He always had a smile on his face, and even when I was upset, he'd always put a smile on my face because he was always in a great mood. So he always found the positive in situations. There was no such thing as a bad day for him. So I think the only bad day for him was the day that his life ended.
A lot of focus has been on the fact that this kid struggled, that he had learning disabilities, that he had challenges in his life. So did Danilo. He didn't have it easy. He didn't have anything handed to him. He really had to overcome some challenges, but Danilo was a sweet person.
The young man did apologize to Canale Glen's family in the gallery today for the first time, saying, "I know sorry is just a word, but I am truly very sorry." His older brother, who was 18 years old at the time of the killing, will go on trial for second-degree murder next month. Tara?
Hey, Terry, thank you. Police have charged a man with murder a year after a shooting in Forest Lawn. 62-year-old Michael Vesterfeld died from his injuries. Police have now charged Tian Pearson Gardypie with second-degree murder. Investigators say the men did not know each other, but they have not revealed the motive. 7 Albertans are facing child exploitation charges. 5 of them are from Calgary. It's part of a 3-month police investigation focusing on high-level targets distributing vast collections. More than 40 computers and electronic devices were seized. Police say they found more than 400,000 images and 11,000 videos of child sexual abuse material. Investigators say they do not believe any of the victims are from Alberta. 51,000 teachers remain off the job on day 2 of a province-wide strike, and now a petition has been launched about education funding. Jacqueline Wilson joins us now. Jackie, tell us about this citizen-initiated referendum.
Tara, so a woman named Alicia Taylor, she wants to ask Albertans whether they think that public funds should continue to go into private schools. And the chief electoral officer, they approved this. And so Alicia Taylor, she'll need at least, or nearly, I should say, 178,000 signatures from Albertans in order to force a referendum vote on this. And it really speaks to the job action that's happening right now. And that shows no end in sight.
The public system is starved right now for funding, but private education is not.
It's a topic the Alberta Teachers Association has issue with. Public dollars going towards private education as teachers fight for more funding to fix overcrowded and complex classrooms.
Private schools have the ability to turn students away. They can put class size caps. They can advertise for the fact that, they've got small classes, which public schools can't do. We can't turn students away. We don't have class size caps. And they also can charge tuition.
A new citizen-initiated referendum question approved Tuesday aims to divert that private school money back to public schools. A 2022 report by the Public School Boards Association of Alberta shows the province allocated more than $314 million to private education in 2021. The ATA says that number is closer to $461 million. The report also notes Alberta education grants are provided to accredited funded private schools at a rate of 70%, which makes private school funding in Alberta the highest in Canada.
What's the most reasonable way to get more kids in classroom with reasonable class sizes? Some of those alternative paths definitely take pressure off the public system as well.
Both the province and ATA say they're only in exploratory talks.
We've said from the beginning to the teachers union that they've got to go find out what their members really want and come back to a table. We have to come back to the table with something. What's the point in having a third negotiated settlement that the teachers reject?
What's unusual about this strike is that it doesn't seem like the parties can even agree on what the problem is, let alone find solutions.
The Premier and Finance Minister said on Tuesday they could force teachers back to work after the legislature resumes October 23rd.
If we get to the end of the month and nothing's changed, and especially if the ATA hasn't returned to the table formally, then we'll have to consider everything.
Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
To learn more about the new petition campaign aimed at private school funding, you can go to elections.ab.ca. An apparent love-in between leaders as Canada's Prime Minister was welcomed to the White House for high-level talks on trade and tariffs. This was Mark Carney's second trip to the inner sanctum at the invitation of the U.S. president, and it comes at a time when Donald Trump is threatening new tariffs. CTV senior political correspondent Michael Couture reports.
With a firm but friendly handshake, Prime Minister Mark Carney arrived at the White House for his working lunch with U.S. President Donald Trump.
We're going to be talking about trade. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things.
In a 32-minute Oval Office meeting, Trump called Carney a great man several times, adding he's confident they'd work through the issues preventing a deal on tariffs.
He's a world-class leader. He's a man that knows what he wants. And I'm not surprised to see that he won the election and won it substantially. And I would think he's more popular now. He's a good man. He does a great job, and he's a tough negotiator.
If he's a great man and you want to do a deal with Canada, why aren't you?
Because I want to be a great man, too.
Trump says the two countries are in a natural business conflict because Canada and the U.S. want to make similar things on both sides of the border.
It's a tough situation because we want to make our cars here. At the same time, we want Canada to do well making cars. So we're working on formulas, and I think we'll get there.
Carney said the two countries are competing, not in conflict.
We are the largest foreign investor in the United States. $500 billion in the last 5 years alone, probably $8 trillion in the next 5 years if we get the agreement that we expect to get.
Following the meeting, the minister in charge of Canada-U.S. trade updated reporters on how it went.
It concluded with the president and the prime minister directing us, me and my colleagues and the president, his cabinet secretaries who were there, Ambassador Greer, Secretary Lutnick, and others, to continue the conversation and to quickly land deals that will bring, we think, greater certainty in areas where the principal areas would be steel and aluminum and energy.
In a sign that work will be continuing, Dominic LeBlanc is staying in D.C. for the next 24 hours for more meetings. And this evening, Prime Minister Carney is having a working dinner with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. Michael Couture, CTV News, Washington.
A fight is brewing between the Alberta and BC premiers over a proposed bitumen pipeline through the provinces. Last week, Danielle Smith's new idea to get that line built was met with major pushback from David Eby and many First Nations. Today, the war of words continues, as does the work behind the scenes. Tim Brooke explains.
In Ottawa to talk with the PM about her pipeline proposal, Premier Danielle Smith wasn't mincing words.
And I would hope that Prime Minister Mark Carney would realize it's his obligation to make sure that these kinds of projects get built.
Smith wants a new bitumen line to the North BC coast. She's not yet saying if Mark Carney will commit to her plan, but she is calling out its detractors, including BC's Premier.
Well, I think Premier Eby's comments are un-Canadian and they're unconstitutional.
So far, the private sector has not committed to financing the proposed pipeline. The route is still to be determined, but it would run through British Columbia, and it would need a number of federal environmental policies to be changed or repealed.
If we want to say we're going to get rid of that tanker ban, and we're going to go after your way of life, let's at least make sure that the conversation is about a real project.
David Eby believes it's all a political distraction, drawing attention away from other real infrastructure projects that would benefit other provinces.
Because their projects are just as damn important as Alberta's project is. It's not the Danielle Smith show, it's the Canadian team. And we all deserve the same opportunity for the same federal funding for our projects as she does for hers. That's not un-Canadian, that is fair.
Some experts believe the fiery back and forth is simply politics.
The main benefits of that pipeline would come at the production side. Those are benefits in terms of royalties and job creation in Alberta. So there is a risk of the NDP government alienating their base.
And Smith is also hearing it from BC First Nations. They too question the legality and reality of the entire proposal.
There is not unanimity in any province. There's not unanimity among any nations.
And Tim joins us now. Tim, the pipeline could be submitted for consideration by Ottawa's new major projects office by next spring.
Yes, Premier Danielle Smith told reporters once again today, Tara, that she's hoping to have a deal in place on that project with Ottawa by mid-November. That's just, of course, a month away from now. Now, we still don't know how that brief meeting with Prime Minister Mark Carney went yesterday, but we do know, Tara, that Carney has told Smith he'll get back to her soon when it comes to that project as well as some of those environmental policies.
Okay, Tim, thank you.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
It was a pretty perfect fall day. Danielle joins us now. This will be the highlight of the week, though.
Yes, absolutely the highlight, the warmest day of the week. The wind's just a little breezy, so it's actually quite nice out here. We're pretty lucky to have had a day like today in early October. The game is going to change completely by Thanksgiving weekend, and I'm going to give you all those details in just a little bit, but for now, let's just focus on the next 24 hours. It's 21 degrees right now, mainly sunny out here. Winds just a light breeze at this point. Tomorrow will be a really nice day, but it will be mainly cloudy in the morning, mainly sunny in the afternoon, and about 10 degrees cooler overall when you're looking at daytime highs. So just be prepared for that, and I'll have that Thanksgiving long weekend forecast coming up, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. It was a tough decision, but producers chose 2 dogs to play Toto in Alberta Theatre Project's upcoming performance of The Wizard of Oz. This is Breezy. Breezy is a 6-year-old Cairn Terrier who stole the show with her agility and training. And Duncan is a 1-year-old Cairn Terrier Westie mix who has played Toto before. They will switch off performances throughout the run of the play. The artistic director says this amazing duo packs not only great stage presence, but they'll enhance the storytelling and the audience experience.
We found the 2 dogs that we felt were going to work best with the ensemble, best for the piece. There's an excitement when there are animals, live animals on stage. So we're embracing it, and we think it adds such a cool element to the show.
ATP's The Wizard of Oz opens November 25th, and it will run through January 4th at the Martha Cohn Theatre. Well, if you've got a cell phone, you've got one. We're talking about lithium-ion batteries. You probably own several, in fact, and the fire department is renewing a warning about their use. And sentencing for the 2 main leaders of the Freedom Convoy happened today. That's next. Look around your house right now. Chances are your eyes will fall on something that is powered by a lithium-ion battery. They're lightweight, they're very powerful, but as the fire department can attest to, they're also a little dangerous if not stored, charged, and used correctly. Tyson Fedor explains.
Cell phones, laptops, electric toothbrushes, and e-bikes all have one thing in common. They're powered by lithium-ion batteries, and now the city is seeing an increase to fires started by similar devices.
I liken it to a can of gasoline or a propane tank, which used properly actually don't present a major problem, but the potential when something goes wrong is significant because there's so much energy.
The fire department counts 12 lithium-ion battery fires so far this year, causing an estimated $32 million in damage to homes or businesses. They include a mattress fire in a teen's bedroom from a failed phone battery and a sudden explosive kitchen fire from an off-brand battery in a cordless vacuum.
Because they've been around for a while, those batteries are now aging, where they're now 5-year-old batteries as opposed to new batteries.
But fires are quite rare, according to one expert.
The numbers of cells that will catch on fires in the parts per billion.
Mark Jusko says the batteries hold high amounts of stored energy, which can lead to rapid overheating, explosions, and toxic gases.
If you let a cell sit or a battery sit in your house, chances are nothing's going to happen. But when you do put it on a charger, that's the time when you are putting heat into the cell, and that's the time where you can go into thermal runaway, so you have to be a little careful.
It's best to store lithium-ion batteries in room temperature areas and don't charge them where you sleep. When it's time to dispose of them, do not use your curbside bins.
As soon as they get compacted in the truck or by the equipment at our facilities, they can start on fire, they can cause explosions.
City waste facilities have seen fires almost weekly because of the batteries, with 75 linked to them this year.
It happens at the landfills, it happens at the sorting facility where we take all the recycling, and it happens in our collection trucks themselves.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Home Depot, London Drugs, Calgary Co-op, designated fire halls, and the city's recycle depots all have areas where you can recycle lithium-ion batteries. Reinforcing the message about batteries and fire safety is Calgary's junior fire chief. 8-year-old Riley Ostrowski got the honors today. As part of Fire Prevention Week each year, the Calgary Fire Department chooses a youth ambassador to highlight the messages about being safe. Riley got a ride in a fire truck to the Children's Hospital, not to mention some firefighter apparel, and sent a message about lithium-ion batteries.
Don't throw it away in a garbage or recycling or any other can. There's like special places that you can go and they'll do it for you.
Here's your helmet. In partnership with the Children's Hospital, the Calgary Fire Department has chosen a junior fire chief since 2016.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle back in now as we look ahead to our 5-day forecast. It kind of does this a little bit.
Yeah, your 3-day forecast is fantastic, but yes, if we could only stick to that. 5 days, our Thanksgiving long weekend, it's a big change for us, absolutely, you know. So we'll talk about all of that. But before that, let's focus on the warm stuff, shall we? 21 degrees right now in the city of Calgary and Lethbridge and Medicine Hat. Those lower 20s in Brooks and Drumheller as well. 19 in Milk River. It was a bit of a breezy day, but it's these winds that were predominantly out of the west today that got our temperatures up. 56 was the max wind gust in Pincher Creek, 35 in Lethbridge, mid-40s for Medicine Hat. We didn't really have a gust register in Calgary at the airport today. And then in the 30s, Banff, near that in Drumheller and Brooks as well. It will be a lot calmer tomorrow, so calm winds tomorrow. We have some clouds peeking in at this point in parts of the city. Tomorrow we'll have mainly cloudy skies to kick off the day, and then those will start to clear out throughout the day. When we look long term, upper air analysis here. So we're under a ridge of high pressure. That's why we've had the heats. It's been absolutely fantastic. This is going to shift on out though. And then as you can see, the furthest this plays out is to early Saturday really. And this on Saturday is going to track into Alberta. This is an upper level trough. This is going to allow cooler air to move in, cool enough that we will struggle to get above the freezing mark as a daytime high, which means when you combine that with precipitation, wet snow will likely be in that. Okay, when we look at future casts, I'm going to play this through the next few days. For central Alberta, they will be dealing a little bit with this, especially closer to Jasper, up to the Grand Prairie area as well. They have that potential, but in the south end, we're quiet right through Friday. Temperatures will be a little cooler for the next couple of days in comparison to today, but quiet, tame weather. And then again, game shifter for us on the weekend. So 12 degrees is our high for tomorrow, which is 10 degrees cooler than today. So it's a decent change. 14 for Thursday. We see a lot of sunshine Thursday and Friday. Friday, a warm front will move through, and that's going to increase the temperature into those high teens. Then the cold front swipes through on Saturday. That'll bring in the cloud cover on Saturday, and by Saturday night, that rain will switch over to some wet snow, which will carry into Sunday and even Monday. Look at Sunday's daytime high, +1, and not much warmer than that for Thanksgiving Monday as well. That's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast.
The two leaders of the so-called Freedom Convoy that gridlocked Ottawa for weeks will not spend any more time in jail. A judge handed down 18-month conditional sentences to Tamara Leach and Chris Barber today. Leach and Barber, who are both from Alberta, left the court to cheers from supporters. They'll both spend a year under house arrest. Barber will then have a curfew for 6 months, and Leach will have it for 3.5 months. Both will also have to complete 100 hours of community service. The judge says while they tried to mitigate the situation by working with officials to shrink the footprint of the protest, it does not absolve them of liability. Just ahead, focusing on safer and more reliable transit in our city. Several mayoral candidates addressing the issue today. Coming up, what Calgarians think of the proposed solutions. And later, lost eyes, lost stuffing. It can happen to the best of the bears, but vets at the zoo are ready to jump in and help at this special clinic. Some mayoral candidates have ideas on how to crack down on transit safety problems. From a pitch to explore turnstiles at stations to an idea about expanding the free fare zone. They want to improve the situation for both riders and operators. Jordan Canagan explains.
After casting a ballot on a bus, a proposal to improve the experience for those who ride and operate them.
We need to fund the prevention, we need to fund the enforcement on transit itself, and we can't lose sight of the fact that we need to fund transit itself. This needs to be a quality service that Calgarians feel confidence in.
That confidence hasn't been there for years. Safety concerns on buses and trains in Calgary have been front and center for operators and riders.
Monitoring the trains a little bit more, for sure, and just making sure like everyone there is like, you know, responsible and everything.
Like anything else, it just needs more money to more lighting, more people, more security, but.
And some of the mayoral candidates want to see a different approach, including a pilot project to test turnstiles at stations across the city.
This pledge is just to find kind of a balance, saying let's pilot this. Let's see if they do work. And if they do work, what are the impacts to reducing fare evasion, helping with safety on platforms?
While others want to build on strategies already underway, such as hiring more transit officers and fast-tracking protective barriers for bus drivers. Jyoti Gondek also wants to explore an expanded free fare zone.
Because when we invest in a transit system that's safe, reliable, and fair, we're investing in a Calgary that works for everyone.
Whatever the platform, transit experts say the vision must be long-term.
We need an all-hands approach, and what we've seen in Calgary and across Canada is looking at different ways to provide more staff onto the system so that if someone's having a concern or there's a safety incident, there's someone to respond to it quickly and swiftly.
Jordan Canagan, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, the city has looked at gates and turnstiles in the past and estimated the cost to close the entire system would be north of $200 million. None of the candidates provided a cost estimate for their proposals. It is day 2 of advanced polls. Yesterday, over 14,000 people cast their ballot. That represents 1.6% of total electors in the city. The number is down from day 1 of advanced voting in the 2021 municipal election. Back then, more than 23,000 people cast their ballots. Advanced polls are open in the city 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. until Friday. Still to come tonight, a CTV News team covering a strike ended up with a deeper story about true love. The storybook ending is next. Calgary Zoo is hosting its 3rd teddy bear clinic this Saturday. It's a chance to have a member of the zoo's veterinary staff give your stuffy a once-over and repair any rips, tears, or broken limbs. It's also a way for zoo staff to teach kids about the importance of regular medical care for animals.
They get a health certificate, their stuffy gets checked out. Last year we had a lot of unicorns. It wasn't just teddy bears. They can literally do a physical exam on anything. So we've had fuzzy caterpillars and all kinds of things that they can do physical exams on. But it also relates to what they do every day. We don't know what's going to be brought in, and they're prepared to do a physical exam and do diagnostics on any species.
The cost for the checkup is a $5 donation to the Wilder Institute. Participants will also get a rare look inside the zoo's ambulance and learn more about how the zoo cares for animals behind the scenes. Reporters in the field sometimes find much more than the story they were assigned to cover. That was the case for our colleagues in Victoria who were covering a union protest and ended up capturing a union of a different type. Here's Adam Sawatsky.
They were seconds away from broadcasting live.
Yeah.
Rob in front of the camera, Orlando behind.
What's that?
When reporting on the first story in the newscast,
Kevin, striking public service workers
led to happening upon this last one.
But we have an engagement going on in front of me.
But Ella Van Enter didn't know that yet. She just thought she was visiting Victoria to show her boyfriend, Alex Benton, the BC Parliament buildings, one of her favorite places growing up.
And all of my best memories are here.
And over the past 2 years they've been dating, all Alex's best memories are with Ella. So he enlisted her sister and aunt to help with a surprise proposal here.
When she met him, it was like instant. He hasn't even ever seen her disability.
Ella has cerebral palsy. And while Alex fell in love with her sitting in a wheelchair, he recalled her saying she'd never want to get engaged in one. So he secretly arranged for Ella to be able to sit in a clear chair for his proposal, framed by flowers.
Took me completely by surprise. I was not expecting this at all.
Well, Rob and Orlando weren't expecting it either.
Orlando, 10 seconds there, everybody.
But they do know a thing or two about covering breaking news.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
So they juggled between broadcasting opposing political sides saying no.
What's that?
And capturing an exuberant Ella saying yes.
She said yes.
The whole thing is so surreal. Like, I actually can't even believe this is happening right now.
I feel amazing. Yeah, I'm so happy that she's happy and that she was surprised. That was a big goal of mine.
While the goal of journalists is to ask the 5 W's, who, what, when, where, the most important part of this story is how these fiancés answered why.
I mean, I love you. That's pretty much all that needs to be said, I think.
Congrats.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
That's a great day on the beat. Yeah, that's
2 stories in one.
Love it. All right, let's see what's trending tonight. Do you ever wonder what your dogs see on the daily? Here's a very cute puppy POV. This is Daisy the Doxy living her best life. Her owner wanted to experience it with her, so he strapped a GoPro on her back and just let her go. So from playing at the park to waiting patiently on walks, her floppy ears show just how much fun she's having.
I love the ears.
Yeah, that's really...
That's kind of the highlight,
That is
isn't
a very cute point of view.
Also, you two are tall, so you see more of the world than I do. That's what I see. Feet and elbows.
From the knee down.
But not floppy ears, right?
No.
Well, this artist's painting technique is taking the internet by storm. Just watch this.
Anxiety, keep on trying me. I feel it quietly, trying to silence me.
Okay, so he slathered paint on his face first, and then he's smearing it on the canvas, different colors, onto the surface, using his hands. Whoa! How did he do that?
Come on.
It's the perfect portrait.
Wow.
That's impressive.
28 million people have watched this video and wondered how on earth did he do this?
In the beginning part of this, I was going to say this is how my little kids paint.
Yeah. Well, it is literally finger painting.
Obviously.
But, oh, my goodness.
That is amazing.
Yeah. Well, finally, these grandparents go all out when it's their turn to take the kids. Okay, so first of all, they pull up in their decked-out golf cart, and then they pour them some fancy juice in champagne glasses.
Cute.
And then they hand out, you know, freshly baked cookies on a tray.
Obviously.
That's pretty good. I mean, if this is how the pickup goes, I don't know what they have planned for the sleepover, but apparently...
party
I know. These grandparents, they all live on the same compound, so they can just drive over on the golf cart, pick up the kids, take them home, have a sleepover.
Finn and Jace, my grandkids, I hope you're not watching.
You got to step up your game, Glenn. Well, as we get closer to the civic election, there are calls for more help. Downtown Outreach Hub say candidates should step up to help our most vulnerable. That story is still ahead.
Oh, and your Skywatch weather camera. As the sun is about to set on a very stunning fall day that didn't feel at all like fall. So we got into the 20s in Calgary and many other communities in southern Alberta. It's been a beautiful day today. We got to 22 in the city. 21 is the temperature right now. 14 is what's normal. We're going to go well below 14 by the time we get into Thanksgiving weekend. So it's going to be quite a difference for us. And we'll definitely feel it. Our bodies are going to have to adjust to that for sure, especially when we've been getting this. So lower 20s, Calgary, Drumheller, Rocky Mountain House, Lethbridge, Brooks, Medicine Hat, and just those high teens everywhere else. So definitely a toasty day for this time of year. We have some clouds that have been peeking in here and there, but really just that's the only story, is some cloud cover, and then mainly cloudy tomorrow morning to kick off the day, and just 5 degrees, so a chillier start to the day, but it will brighten up later in the morning and throughout the afternoon as those clouds clear out. You're looking at a high of 12 degrees, so it's a decent difference in temperature, about 10-degree temperature difference when you're looking at daytime highs tomorrow compared to today. That's your 24-hour forecast, brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. All right, tomorrow in Fernie, 19 degrees and a whole lot of sunshine. A little more cloud cover in through Edmonton, Red Deer, Rocky Mountain House may even see some showers tomorrow. Calgary looking at a high of 12, Drumheller 16. And again, we'll have some cloud cover in the morning hours, but that will clear out late morning and for the afternoon hours. Crowsnest Pass a little gusty. You're looking at about 50-kilometer-per-hour winds, but outside of that, it should be calm winds everywhere else in southern Alberta. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. An Airdrie mom wants the public to see security video of her daughter being struck in a hit and run. The 17-year-old girl was hit in a crosswalk by a minivan. The driver took off after yelling at the girl. RCMP are still looking for him. She suffered only minor injuries. The killer of 18-year-old Danila Canella's Glen will spend another year in jail for manslaughter. The victim was stabbed while playing basketball in Copperfield by a boy who was 16 at the time. And no progress is reported in talks between teachers and the provincial government. Meanwhile, a new referendum petition campaign has been approved, aimed at stopping public funding of private schools. Downtown outreach workers are urging Calgary's future City Council to increase funding for daytime shelters. A partnership group called the Central Outreach Hub says vulnerable Calgarians are running out of safe places to go and losing out on life-saving resources. Mark Villani has more on the call for help and how it could impact those in need.
Zachary Kiawasu is stocking up on essential items. They might seem simple, but they're part of a program that's saving lives, keeping him away from past struggles with addiction.
There's too much drugs and alcohol going around, and I've seen half of my family die from there, so, I'm trying to start over.
Kiawasu is almost a year sober, but he still lines up each day outside the Central United Church. It's where community groups part of the Central Outreach Hub are feeding upwards of 300 people on this Tuesday morning, providing essential health checks and clothing items. Community partners involved say they hope those running for City Council will take notice.
What we're trying to tell them is this model should exist all throughout Calgary.
The Central Outreach Hub says for about $200,000, or about the annual salaries of 2 police officers, it could operate for a full year. It argues that's a small price to pay to treat vulnerable Calgarians with dignity and offer them necessary supports.
Navigating the social sector can be very intimidating and very difficult, and also there's a lot of barriers like language barriers, literacy barriers, and time.
But some say the ongoing opioid crisis, addiction, and mental health struggles are adding to financial challenges. Support for the Indigenous population is also top of mind.
They're getting younger, and we are not supporting them in a good way. We aren't following truth and reconciliation, the calls to action.
It's got to the point where it's unsustainable just based on volunteer hours. We need something to help sustain this. And apart from that, we always appreciate the donations of food and clothing.
Clothing that's needed for people like 66-year-old Brenda Wallace, who says she's found a sense of purpose thanks to those who treat her with love.
I can feel the energy that you give me when you give me a hug, and it just goes right through my body.
For others, spaces like this represent a second chance.
I want to be a good person.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
Canada recorded its second largest trade deficit on record in August. In fact, it nearly doubled from July. Here's BNN Bloomberg's Marla Fernandez.
Canada exported far less in August than we did in July. The merchandise trade deficit hit $6.3 billion. Exports fell 3%, with Canada exporting a lot less gold to the U.S. and other countries. Exports of industrial machinery and equipment also dropped in a dramatic way. And of course, with new American duties kicking in, less Canadian lumber went south. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down a fraction to 71.66. West Texas Intermediate crude is down 82 cents to 61.32. Western Canadian Select is up to 50.43. And the TSX dropped 180 points today, ending the day at 30,351. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
The Calgary International Airport says the summer of 25 was a record breaker. The airport says 4 million passengers passed through YYC this summer. That's the most ever. And there were 2 million passengers in July and in August, also a record. The airport says those numbers underscore the role YYC plays as an economic driver, connecting local communities to opportunities around the world, welcoming the world to the Rockies, and providing travelers more choices to explore. The Stampeders have a chance to right the ship during a 4-game losing streak. Glenn has an injury update as they take on the Ticats this weekend. The Toronto Blue Jays have a chance to pull out the brooms on the New York Yankees. Glenn is back with us. Glenn, the series has shifted now to New York.
Tara, the Jays certainly took care of business at home, winning both games, but there's no doubt the job is going to be that much tougher at Yankee Stadium. Carlos Rodon on the mound for the Yankees tonight, and Vladimir Guerrero does it again for the Jays. Gets a hold of this pitch, takes it to deep left center. It is out of here. 2-run shot for Guerrero. Jays had an early 2-0 lead. Shane Bieber getting the start for the Jays tonight, and he gets some help from Guerrero in the bottom of the first. Guerrero doing it all for the Jays in this series so far, but the Yanks would get to Bieber a little later in the first inning. Giancarlo Stanton at the plate, base hit to left center. That scores Aaron Judge from second base, cuts the lead to 2-1. They're now in the third inning, still same score of 2-1. Calgary Stampeders will look to put an end to their 4-game losing streak on Saturday afternoon as they play the Ticats. It was a tough game injury-wise for the Stamps last week against the BC Lions. Damon Webb, Kyle Wilson, Derek Moncrief all missed practice on the defensive side of the ball, and Dedrick Mills, he was limited on offense. Now on the bright side, the Stampeders got Markel Lee back for the BC game. Lee suffered a torn bicep early in the season, but had the goal of getting back to help his team down the stretch. He was good against the Lions, but he says he can be even better.
That's a lot of improvement that I can make. First game back, it's not going to be as perfect as I wanted to be or as good as I wanted to be. So we're back to the drawing board this week and working a little bit of extra stuff after practice and during practice as well, being more aware and being more intentional about what we got to do to stop people and give our offense more opportunities.
I know he's going to be critical of a few plays. He did come free off an edge blitz that hurt us, but you know, for not playing for over 3 months, I thought he played well, and he has a knack for filling holes and stopping the run, and then he has the length to cover in the pass game and cause issues when he's on the blitz. So I thought it was a good start. I think he will be better in this game, and we'll need him.
Stamps and Ticats kick off of that game a little after 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon.
Thank you, Glenn. It's been really warm out east. If it stays warm, they're going to have a beautiful day for a game.
Yeah. Out east.
Not
on Saturday. Not here.
Not here.
Tara's not the happiest with me with this Thanksgiving forecast, and neither is Glenn. And I'm sure.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
At all.
Neither of you are at home. I know that.
Quit blaming hockey.
I know, for the last 2 days. Okay. For the rest of this work week, it's quite nice. Mainly cloudy tomorrow morning, but then the sun will peek out later in the morning. 12 degrees, so it is a temperature difference, but it's still a nice day, so cooler tomorrow. 14 for Thursday, 18 for Friday, and then it all falls apart. Thanksgiving long weekend. By Saturday night, we get into the rain and wet snow mix that will carry on and off through Sunday and Monday. Check out Sunday's daytime high, just 1. Okay, I'll keep you posted on that. Weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. And Kennedy Wolf sent this in from driving past. I feel that Kennedy was on the bus here. From this is a shot of Glenmore Reservoir. So stunning fall photos that
it is
people are
an
taking.
actual weather window.
Yes.
Looking out the window. It's perfect.
There you go. Thanks, Kennedy.
Thanks for your company tonight. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.